Momentum gaps. I have two words for you. Momentum gaps. A gap in your momentum. We all have them. No matter what level you're at, we always have momentum gaps. And so sometimes it shows up as building momentum, building momentum, building momentum, building momentum, and then all of a sudden it stops. And the energy that you have determines how long the momentum building lasts. And then it stops. All momentum stops at some point. Or it slows down so much that we feel like it stopped. Maybe all momentum doesn't stop, but maybe it slows down to the point where we feel like our humanness feels like, momentum stop. So when the momentum stops, some people start to move backwards. Their momentum starts to move backwards. And sometimes the momentum just stops or slows right down to next to nothing. And then it feels like we stay at that level, and how long that level lasts for determines the energy that we're in. And then how we then start to gain momentum again depends on the energy that we're in. So your ability to gain the momentum, sometimes momentum lasts for a day, maybe two. If you are in the process of building momentum and it only lasts for a day or two, the energy that you have is not as high a frequency as those that can gain momentum over a couple of days. And then it slows down to next to nothing. The people that are gaining momentum and they have that momentum building for weeks at a time before it slows down. Some people have momentum building for months at a time. Their energy frequency, their ability to hold on to that momentum is bigger. So the longer that you can hold on to your momentum, the longer or the higher frequency that you are, the ability that you have to have emotional intelligence, the ability that you have to hold on to money, hold on to momentum, the energy that you have to hold. And that depends on a lot of factors. Yes, you've probably heard a million times by now that your nervous system regulates a lot of this stuff. Your subconscious regulates a lot of this stuff. Your consciousness regulates a lot of this stuff. Your energetic frequency holds everything. Everything relates back to the energetic frequency. So I've gone right straight into this podcast and I haven't actually introduced myself because this is a concept that has really shifted so much with me, even in the last 30 seconds. So what happened is I was doing a mini wealth code reading for a client who is booking in a reading. And it came through momentum gaps. And then I was like, I have to do a whole podcast about this. And it's really cementing in as I'm speaking it to you. So you guys that are here listening to this are really going to figure out in real time how I figure things out as I process it. So if you have a high energetic frequency and you are able to hold a higher energetic frequency, your momentum is going to last longer. So back in the early processes of me being an online entrepreneur, with my hairdressing, I never had to really think about this kind of stuff too much. It was just, I did great hair, and then people came to me because I'm a really, really, really good hairdresser. And now that I'm in the online space, I never sold a thing in my business for the first 2 years of my online. At the time I was going through this, I was pulling my hair out, and now I understand the process of it. My momentum skills, my energetic frequency of being able to hold momentum was very, 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 very short. Very, 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 very short. So I would literally gain a download. I'll get this download from the divine intelligence of what my next step in my business is. offer this course, offer this kind of session, offer a masterclass, offer whatever the strategy was that I was using, I would get a download of information for my next step in my business. It was all beautiful, 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 beautiful. Came through, the energy was so intense, so high, the excitement that was running through me at that moment was so incredibly high. And then I would go to create it, and I would start writing stuff down to create this offer. Who was the person that I'm creating it for? All of those kinds of techniques. And as soon as I started to dive into the more strategic, the more masculine side of things, creating a plan, it left. The momentum was gone. Like I held that idea, and I held the momentum for that idea for like maybe 5 hours, if that. Now I'm able to sustain the momentum over a couple of weeks, and I'm building up on that. So then you've got that stagnated phase, right? So you've built the momentum, then the stagnated, like the momentum slows right down to next to nothing. So some people have been able to gain momentum over years and years and years and years and years, and then the momentum stops, or they've been able to gain the momentum over a couple of months, and then the momentum stops. How long you hold that stagnated energy for is the key. That's the key. So I would spend maybe 5 hours in momentum stage, and then the momentum would cease, slow down to nothing. And then I would let it slow me down for weeks, sometimes months at a time. I would be in this stagnated phase. So how long you stay in that phase is a reflection of your energy, your belief system. I start to feel the momentum slide within a day. I'm like, nah, no more loss of momentum. We're gaining momentum again. And re-cementing that in, gaining momentum, gaining momentum, gaining momentum. Then it starts back up again. So the ability to hold that momentum, so you can see the pattern, yeah? It's the ability to hold the momentum, the ability to see when the momentum is stagnated, see whether you start to slide back into your old patterns, or whether you stay at that level until you decide, no more stagnating, no more reclusing, no more hiding, no more whatever it is that is keeping you in that stagnated period. I'm now going to and gaining that momentum again. How long can you gain that momentum for? Hours, days, weeks, months, years. How long are you going to be in that momentum stage? This is the key to everything. This is the key. It's not just about subconscious, nervous system, somatic, all that kind of stuff. It's your ability to hold the energy, to receive the momentum energy, to receive the downloads that are going to create that momentum, what the next step is to create that momentum. And then how long are you going to let yourself gain the momentum for? The longer you can hold the gaining of the momentum and the building of the momentum, the longer you can hold that and reduce and lengthen the time of the momentum and reduce the time of stagnating, that is the key. Some people, some of the most successful people that you will see, their stagnated period might only be minutes, might only be seconds. So something will happen, like my mentor, for instance, she dropped the phone while she was starting to record a training module. Okay, complete and utter, well, really, that was a failure. Right? And so she dropped the phone, and she could have gone, well, you know what? I'm going to restart this module again. Or say, look, you know, guys, technically this is not working at the moment. I'm going to turn this down, or I'm going to turn this off. and we'll restart it in 5 minutes. Like she could have done that, but no, her stagnated time is very short. She was like, okay, that happened. Well done. Awesome. Let's move on. If you are shortening your main focus at the moment, if you are struggling with this momentum gap, is to shorten the momentum gap to as little as possible. So your momentum gap at the moment might be a couple of days. Your momentum gap at the moment might be a couple of weeks. You need to feel into how long have you been stagnated for? How long was the last time you let yourself be stagnated? Yeah. Feel the energy of stagnated and go, this is really shit sometimes. Shorten the momentum gap. The more that you can shorten the momentum gap to only a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, the better off your business is going to be. So it's not grow, stop, either recluse or stay there for however long, and then go, okay, well, I'm building momentum again, and then going up. It's about shortening that momentum gap. Don't allow it to take hold on you. It's happened to me so many times in the past where I build momentum. Like I've made $6,000 cash in my bank account in a week. And then it stops. No money comes in for a while. That's the momentum gap. Sometimes I've had a $12,000 sales month. And then for 3 weeks, I get nothing, not even a single session reading, not even a meditation sold. Nothing sells for weeks. So you've got to be able to shorten that momentum gap to maybe a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, couple of hours, maybe a day. I recently even just experienced this because I gained so much momentum in my business, and then all of a sudden I got ill and I couldn't really do much for 3 days. And I could have chosen to stay in that momentum gap for those days. Go, oh, well, I'm not meant to, like, my energy is so important to me, which it is. I'm not going to do anything in my business while I'm recovering from this illness, blah, 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 whatever. But no, I made sure I posted every single day. So the momentum didn't have to stop while I was recovering, while I was getting better. Last year, I had to have major surgery in November, major surgery. And so momentum stopped for like 4 months because I had to have surgery in June. I actually went into hospital in May, at the beginning of May of last year, and I didn't sell a reading from the beginning of May until the next year. Thankfully, my husband could help me financially, but I didn't make any money in my business for like 7 months because I had to look after my health. And I let myself become completely stagnant in my business in that time because of the level of health issues that I had. And now I understand that was a momentum gap. I had a very, very, very long momentum gap. I allowed myself to do that. I honored myself through that. That was an intentional momentum gap. So now I get to decide, okay, well, my momentum gap is now maybe a day. So feel into that, see how that feels for you. If you want to get help minimizing that momentum gap, reach out to me. I have an amazing offer. I have the Infinite CEO membership where we do loads and tons of energy work, trainings. There's psychic readings in there. All of that kind of juicy stuff is in the Infinite CEO membership. I also offer wealth code readings, business wealth code readings, so that you'll be able to see into what is creating those momentum gaps for you and what is keeping them in place. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So reach out to me if you are wanting help with that. The link to the Infinite CEO membership is in the description of this podcast. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic morning, day, noon, or night, wherever you are in the world. And remember to always learn lots and be kind. Bye for now.